Welcome to Cars Corner. I'm your man CL. Like and subscribe. Cars Corner 4-4, man. I got Darius DFG. Fulghum. He just fought. What's he, 14-0 now?
Yes, sir.
12 knockouts.
12 knockouts. Yes,
He did the damn thing. He just got sparring with this big guy. This big guy, Zach Spiller, man. He just got done sparring with this guy. So, iron sharpen iron, man. We're at 4 Corners Gym in Houston. We're in the building, man.
Yes, sir.
What you think about your fight, man? How you think you did? I thought you did good.
I'm a little heavy on myself a lot of times.
Yep.
You know, I watch that fight a lot, and you know, I think just a little bit of my mind got the best of me. Right, I got too focused on the knockout. You know, and I was trying to force it. And
I'm glad you.
I realized in life, man, anytime you try to force nothing, it'll never work.
I'm glad you said that because I text you a day or two ahead of time and said you're gonna stop him in 4, and I actually thought you could have stopped him in 2. But you crowded yourself a little bit, you know, smothered yourself a little bit on it there. But I'm glad you proved me right. I'm glad you proved me right. I texted him and Coach D. I said, Darius, stop it in 4. And he stopped him in 4. I told him that. He did it. So
I think I did it just for you, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It's in the back of your mind.
You know what? Let me just smother myself so I don't stop him just yet and I'll get it for it. Just so
I appreciate that.
Right.
So the next time you fight, I'm always hit you and tell you my prediction, so you can have it in the back of your mind. Hopefully you don't smother yourself. Now I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong and get it sooner. Get it sooner.
Get him out earlier.
Yeah. So if you guys was to look at Danielle fight, both of you guys were there. You was up on the apron. You walked in with her in the back and everything. What would you think she should have done? Could have capitalized on? Cause me looking at it, to me she should have kept her height and used her jab more. To me, she kind of squatted low where Carissa was instead of staying tall. When she used her jab and was aggressive, Carissa couldn't do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, realistically, Danielle had all the tools necessary.
All the
tools necessary to win that fight. And to me, it was very evident. And obviously, I don't care if anybody say I could be biased, but I know Danielle.
It's not biased. It's just telling the truth.
And it is facts. But I would say I was impressed with Carissa and her performance and how she handled everything. And I think just, you know, Danielle, I mean, I think the big difference factor in that fight was just experience. Honestly.
The moment.
Yeah. Clarissa's been in that moment countless times, you know? Danielle just come out of nowhere from bottom to the top, just like that. And it was a big moment, you know? And I think experience played a big factor on controlling the rounds. Because a lot of rounds was won by like little small moments, you know? And so Danielle, she controlled an outboxer and didn't let Clarissa capitalize on just a big wow moment that would have swayed the judges. You know, I think it would have been a different outcome, right? But just experience, you know? I think Danielle looked great. Danielle's a great fighter.
Yeah, same thing with you, D? I mean, Zeke?
Yeah, I can say I did near second everything Darius said. I think the biggest thing was the moment. You know, Danielle's in the biggest fight of her career.
Right.
And Carissa's been there countless times. And I think it was just those I think that was the key thing. And I think there's, of course, you know, anytime we get in the ring and fight, there's always something we can do better.
Right.
You know, so like I think it was a great experience for Danielle. I think that they are gonna run it back. And I think it's gonna be an even better fight the second time. First one was good. I feel like Danielle had some great moments in there. I don't feel like it was as wide as the judges had it, but you know, great fight for Danielle. Carissa looked great. She showed her championship pedigree, and you know, I'm looking forward to Danielle coming, getting back in the gym and working towards, you know, getting right back to that top level. She deserves it. She works hard, and you know, there's one loss that's going to define who she is or her career. You know, I think she's going to come back even better and learn from it.
Yeah, I'm glad. For me, I'm glad Carissa ever gave her an opportunity because Carissa didn't have to. She didn't have to give her an opportunity. I'm glad she got that opportunity. And to me, I look at it as a minor setback for a major comeback. That particular experience right there, being on that moment, having to go to press. She didn't have to do all that press. Having to make weight, then go to this and that. I think that kind of just going through that, you know how to manage everything. So I think next go round, she be ready.
Well, let me tell you something too, bro. Anybody that can really sit there and watch on the TV and try to judge Danielle for everything that she done been through, bro. Let me tell you just from first-hand experience, man. You're talking about going against a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, right? You're talking about somebody who's an undisputed, or what they call female GOATs, right? In her hometown. Let me tell you, we walked out, we standing in the ring, Clarissa's walking out, bro. Yeah. And the ring is shaking, dog.
Yeah.
The ring is like vibrating.
Just the atmosphere.
From the music, from her walkout, right? Papoose walking out, you got the whole crowd screaming, whoop that trick, get him.
I heard that.
Now, like, just think of any normal person Like what goes through somebody's mind when they in an environment like that? When somebody else's home turf, you got the whole crowd telling this other girl she gonna whoop her ass, right?
Yeah.
Some people got different mindsets, right? But you could be in that moment and it's like, golly.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm looking around like, sheesh.
Especially when it's a big moment like that you ain't never experienced, man. I understand that. Yes.
Oh, this is live for the whole world to see. And so anybody could try to judge it, but that's a tough moment to be in for anybody.
Right.
But moments like that kind of really define who somebody is, and I still think Danielle did really good.
I did too.
I think she did really
I'm proud
good in that
of
moment. And that's me. I'm trying to speak unbiased as possible because, like I said, it was just small moments, and Clarissa just capitalized on some wow factors that really like solidified the public's eyes, right?
Yeah.
But when you're looking from a pure boxing fan, Danielle was looking great.
I think if Danielle, I have no doubt her stamina is up to par. To me, when she was the aggressor, keeping Clarissa running around on the back foot, she had more success. To me, is when she tried to stand flat-footed and box with a quicker fighter that's more, I could say a little more experience in that moment. Yeah, but to me, the smaller people, normally the smaller fighters, they're a little more quicker and a little more agile and a little more skilled than the bigger guys like you guys. Because with you guys, it takes one mistake. Right. And I think Clarissa saw most of the stuff coming. When you're trying to box with her, she saw everything coming. But when Danielle was aggressive, she didn't know where it was coming from. And I think if Danielle was a presser where she didn't know where it was coming from and make it fall off the back foot, she'd have did a better job.
I think there's
what you think?
Truth to that, but it's easier said than done when
right.
you're actually in there, like when we get in there, like fighters have a presence about them. And when you get that person in front of you and Clarissa's shots, they're firing, they're quick. And when you happen, so a lot of times when fighters get buy into being so aggressive, they leave openings, and you can be aware of that. So it's like, all right, am I gonna take the risk right now? You have to take calculated risk.
Right.
Set those moments up. I think Danielle could have did a better job of doing that. But when you look back at it, we all watched it back, we analyzed it. Clarissa did what we expected her to do.
Right.
Now it's time for to get Danielle back in here, get her back working hard, training, and then prepare to execute the next time you get that shot. Right. Because a lot of times fighters might not ever get the shot again.
Never.
We believe in Danielle.
Some fighters fight their whole career and never get that shot.
Right, and a lot of fighters. There's a reason why nobody wants to fight Danielle.
Right.
There's a clear reason behind it, and we appreciate the fact that Clarissa gave her the chance because she didn't have to, and now it's time for us to go right back in the lab. Help her get to where she needs to be so she can find success the next time. So do you think Danielle need to fight another formidable opponent in that division that's willing to fight her to get another title shot, or if Clarissa give her that opportunity, jump on that opportunity?
Any opportunity is a great opportunity. Then
right.
You can fight anybody else that's a former Clarissa.
Because people out here, everybody talking Hannah Gables.
Yeah,
everybody talking about Hannah Gables.
That fight's been supposed to happen for years.
But supposedly Hannah turned the fight down, right?
Yeah, she was supposed to fight Hannah, but here's the great thing in Danielle's situation. She's still the mandatory for Clarissa.
Right.
But I think that she's going to take another route, get some wins. She has a bigger fan base now. She had a lot of fans for that fight.
Right.
She's going to go out there, show her dominance, and they can run it back at the end of the year or early next year.
Right.
I feel like that's the best thing to do. But either way, it's all a great opportunity, and I feel like she's ready to take whatever is presented to her.
Well, I'm proud of her. 4CORNERS proud of her. H-Time, we done adopted her.
I'm proud as hell of a dog. Anybody can be in that moment and persevere and fight through that, man, they got all my respect. And a lot of people don't give fighters their respect for when they step up for moments like that. It's easy to criticize watching from the outside, but man, to watch Danielle's growth, everything she's been through to get to that moment, to be there in that moment, and see her work her ass off and fight like that, I'm proud of her, dog, man. It's a hard thing to do.
Right. You got anything coming up?
Not nothing like locked in just yet. Okay. Not nothing locked in just yet. So
you got to stay ready to get ready. Iron sharpen iron. You see this big guy he's sparring against. They iron sharpening iron, man. I thank y'all for always letting the corner come to you. I am your man, CL. Like and subscribe. Cause Corner Fofo. I'm also one half of We All Famous podcast host Simbo, along with CL, man. Thank y'all again for letting me stop by the corner. And like I always say, we all famous. Peace.